It's a rainy morning at the Nestle factory in Ponda, Goa. While the assembly lines inside are churning out the company's bestseller, Munch, outside fresh construction is happening at an equally brisk pace. With revenues of over 6,000 crore rupees in 2010, Nestle is one of the largest processed foods companies in India. As competition in the sector increases rapidly, Nestle India unveils a threefold strategy to drive its already high growth rate of over 20%. The first, to increase or nearly double the production capacity across its categories. The second, to increase innovations in existing categories and eventually by 2014 launch brands in new categories. Storyboard talks to the man leading Nestle India.
Antonio Helio Waszyk. You must be feeling very happy to see the monsoons at the time at which they've started.
Oh yeah, helps for the commodity price. You know, the pressure is very high, so the water coming in the monsoon, which is predicted to be a good one, again, will probably take a little bit of the pressure that we are facing this beginning of the year.
Agri-commodity prices.
Yeah, this has been really one of the
all-time highs for some
for
raw
almost
materials.
all of them, all-time highs. But not only that, the only other problem is the, how can I say, it is the not enough. So one thing is having a supply which comes good with the monsoon, but at the same time the demand is going higher than the supply.
Right.
So one thing is to have a good crop, the other is to make sure that the policies are made in such a way that we accelerate the supply in the years to come.
First quarter of 2011, your growth rate is about 23%, if I'm not mistaken.
It's always, as long as above 20, I don't track too much.
The question is, where does Nestle go from here? Because this is incredible growth. Your shareholders seem to be very happy with you. You're happy as long as it's above 20. But where do you go from here?
Well, listen, we are doing well. We are not the largest yet, but we are the best. If you look at the progression of our top line and bottom line on last years, has been almost 4 years, or plus than 4 years on the quarter by quarter that we have delivered that. On the quarter one of this 2011, with all the pressures, we did it again. And that's what I keep telling my people. We're going to have to continue to do it again and again, because this is just the opportunity of this country. If we don't do, somebody else is going to do. The biggest challenge this year, on the last, I would say, 12 months, has been capacity. We have not invested in Nestle India enough to cope with such a growth. That's why this year we see that we are not achieving some of the growth we could have achieved because of lack of manufacturing capacity and distribution. That's why we started a year ago with full support of our board and our main shareholder, which is Nestle SA. We came with a major program of doubling our manufacturing blueprint.
Even in this factory, I believe that there are construction going on right now to double the capacity.
Every single unit today is being doubled. You don't plus or minus something, but it's going to be around $450 million in 2.5 years.
Why is this realization of this investment now? Did it take you to get here?
Well, thank you very much. If I say that, you must say I'm a little bit selfish. No, it took years to really get to a pace that you say, well, now it is forever. That's for good. And that's for good, let's go for it. And lack a little bit of confidence. Is this really going to continue or something like that? And I think one of the first things, almost 2 years that I'm here, one of the first things that I did, which is my, I would say, if I did anything for this company, is to instill in the team, especially in the management team, is a confidence that yes, we can do, and more important, yes, we will do.
There is one big thing that is going to be even more pronounced in 2011, and that is competition in the food business. Hindustan Unilever is expecting a lot of its growth to come from food because it's such a tiny business currently in India. You have the entry of Danone. In milk products category, which is your biggest category, you have Kraft now, and then of course you have all the Indian companies.
There is two ways of approaching on that. Then we talk a little bit about foods, okay? But in general, the competition. I believe the country with the population and with the pyramid and with the newcomers into the category of people who can buy branded food, it's enormous. So I don't think my objective is really to be worried about the intensity of competition coming into some of the categories. I think there is much more about, like I always say, it's not a fight for a slice of the same cake. I'm here to bake a larger cake or bake new cakes. And therefore, these larger cakes, even if I have the same slice of the cake, in absolute amount, going to be a better business. I believe that market share in this country, fighting for market share in this country, is a short-term approach. Going after new categories, growing our categories, it is a much more sustainable approach. I'm going to give a critical mass or a business mass, which is going to be much more relevant than just going after market share. I want to, maybe it's intellectual, but I want to separate between players and competitors. Right? Competitor is the one who understands the entire value chain of the category, who masters the quality, who brings novelty to the category that helps the category to grow. Okay? This is a competitor. And like the words say, has to have some kind of competitiveness built into the chain. Player is the one who come opportunistic. Just because I have a nice brand, I believe I can use that brand in different categories. That might be a little bit shocking, but there is only one competitor in noodles. The others are players. They are welcome, but really we are watching the one who comes with differentiation, good distribution, a good communication. That one we are looking what they are doing. But the players, we just understand what they are doing now, and I'm not worried at all. Point number one.
Right.
I will not tell you who is the competitor and who are the players, but you can deduct. You'll find out. Okay? Maggi Noodles is growing very nicely. We are investing 4 new lines. We invested 2 already. We are putting 4 new lines in the south. We're going to put 4 new lines in Talival and HP. And I can tell you one thing. 3 of these newcomers together this year, they will not fill 1 of these lines we are installing. I think this is about competitive advantage, and this is intensity into competition.
This is about the market leader saying that this is my share, and not only does my share remain constant, it remains constant in a market that I'm growing, right?
Exactly, and we continue to grow. Of course, if somebody comes in a market like that, because of the good job that the leader is doing, they're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 tons. But what is 2,000, 3,000 tons in a market like India? Give another example. Soups. We are not the leader. We are number 2. Okay? We are gaining market share. Do you think I'm happy? I told my people 2 months ago, I said, listen guys, either you make something different that transform this category, and then we go for what I call 5 digits volume, or it's not interesting. Because you cannot gain market share in a category which is flat for the last 5 years. This has been 3,000, 4,000 tons for the last 5 years. For India, 3,000, 4,000 tons.
It's nothing.
It's nothing. We have decided now we will come with differentiation, we will come with novelty, with technology. I don't know what we're going to call soups, but the only thing I can assure you is the following. We're going to move of this idea of convincing Indians to eat Chinese soup or to eat Western creamy soup. And soon We're going to make a big buzz. I don't know whether Nielsen going to call soups.
So it's Indianization at work.
That's the name of the game.